You have been taught to believe that the universe rewards luck, that opportunity appears by chance, that some men are born under fortunate stars and others are condemned to live in their shadow. I tell you now with the same certainty that governs the law of gravity that this is not true. The universe responds not to wishes, not to hopes, not to frantic effort, but to the silent, unshakable command of a mind that governs itself. For 21 days, I am going to ask you to take control of the only kingdom you will ever truly rule, your inner world. And I do not ask this lightly, for the moment you attempt to command yourself, you will awaken enemies within and without that you have never faced before. The weak version of yourself will rise in rebellion. The habits of distraction, indulgence, and emotional reactivity will fight for their survival. The outer world will send its agents in the form of criticism, urgency, and temptation. And yet, if you hold your ground for 21 days without yielding, the balance of power will shift forever, and the universe itself will begin to obey your command. The first law you must accept is definiteness of purpose. If you do not know with precision what you are building, you cannot expect the raw material of your days to assemble into anything but disorder. Purpose is the architect's plan for your life. Without it, you will live in a structure built by accident, subject to collapse. Write it, speak it, commit it to memory, and measure every action against it. Ask, does this advance my aim? If not, eliminate it without negotiation. Every day of these 21 days must begin with this question before any other thought enters. The second law is mastery over emotion. You will be provoked in these days. You will be offered the bait of irritation, flattery, panic, and euphoria. The ordinary man bites at each one. The man of mastery sees them for what they are, levers designed to move him against his will. You must become unmovable, except by your own command. This does not mean you do not feel. It means you do not let feeling dictate action. The moment between stimulus and response is your throne. Sit upon it. Rule from it. The third law is self-discipline. The weak will believe discipline is denial. The wise will know discipline is freedom. Every morning you will rise at the hour you declared, not when the body pleads for more sleep. Every task you set you will complete, not when convenient, but when due. Every word you give yourself you will keep, for the man who lies to himself destroys the foundation of all achievement. In these 21 days, your word to yourself becomes law, and lawbreakers are not tolerated, even when the lawbreaker is you. The fourth law is accurate thinking. You must strip your mind of superstition, assumption, and wishful thinking. Look at reality as it is, not as you would prefer it to be. Verify before you act. Separate fact from opinion, evidence from rumor. The man who sees clearly is never truly surprised, for he knows the lay of the land before the battle begins. During these 21 days, you will test every thought for accuracy before letting it shape your decisions. The fifth law is personal initiative. You will not wait for permission to act in alignment with your purpose. You will not wait for motivation, for favorable conditions, for consensus. You will act first, decisively, and without seeking approval. The man who acts first sets the terms for all who follow. In these 21 days, you will train yourself to move the moment you see the move, without hesitation or excuse. Now, here is the cause and effect law. The crowd will never accept. If you allow your emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future. This is not poetry. It is mechanics. It is law. Just as the body responds to the mind, the outer world responds to the steady vibration of the inner one. A chaotic mind produces a chaotic life. A disciplined mind produces a disciplined life. A commanding mind produces a reality that obeys. And here is the test. For 21 days, not one thought, not one reaction, not one indulgence will enter your life unmeasured. For 21 days, you will guard the gates of your mind as a king guards the gates of his city. You will allow in only that which strengthens, advances, or supports your purpose. Everything else, no matter how tempting, will be turned away. Do not underestimate the difficulty of this. The enemy is not out there. It is the part of you that craves the ease of reaction, the rush of unmeasured emotion, the comfort of drifting. But with each day you hold the line, that part of you will weaken until at last it dies. And in its place will stand the architect of his own destiny. calm, disciplined, unshakable. At the end of the 21 days, something irreversible will happen. The universe, which has always been ready to serve you, will at last have a master worth serving. Opportunities will appear where none seem to exist. The right people will arrive without force. Circumstances will bend in your favor, not because they changed, but because you did. You will have proof in your own life that the mind is the cause and the world is the effect, and you will know that the man who commands himself commands everything he touches. Begin tomorrow. Begin now. For the clock of your life is running, and the universe will respond only when you do. Definiteness of purpose is the first pillar, and it is where most men fail before they even begin. They are busy yet without direction. They work yet without aim. They live as if drifting down a river, letting the current decide where they will end, never realizing that the current has no obligation to take them where they wish to go. If you want the universe to respond, you must decide where you are going in detail, with precision, without hesitation. Write it. State it aloud each morning before the world's noise can reach you. Let no day begin without the reminder of where you are headed. For 21 days, you will treat your purpose as a compass. You will not take a single action without asking, does this move me closer to the destination I have chosen? If it does, you will advance. If it does not, you will cut it from your life as a surgeon removes diseased tissue. This is not cruelty, this is clarity. Without definiteness, every force around you will claim pieces of your time, energy, and focus until you are spent, with nothing to show but fragments. With definiteness, you channel every force into a single stream, and that stream cuts through mountains. Mastery over emotion follows. Understand that your emotions are not enemies, but neither are they fit to rule. Anger, excitement, fear, desire, these are powerful horses, but if you let them run wild, they will throw you and drag you through the dirt. You must be the rider, holding the reins, directing the energy where it serves you. This means you do not react, you respond. Reaction is instinct, born of the animal within. Response is command, born of the master within. In these 21 days, you will pause between stimulus and action. You will measure the emotion against your purpose. You will decide if expressing it advances or weakens your position. And if it weakens you, you will hold it, contain it, and redirect it. Do not mistake this for suppression. Suppression locks emotion away to fester. Mastery transforms it into fuel. Anger can become determination. Fear can become preparation. Desire can become discipline. But only if you refuse to let the first impulse dictate your movement. Self-discipline is the guard who enforces your laws. Many will set a goal. Many will feel the surge of determination. Few will obey themselves long enough to see the reward. For 21 days, you will treat your own word as binding law. If you say you will rise at a certain hour, you will rise. If you set a task, you will finish it. If you make a promise, you will keep it not for the sake of others, but to prove to yourself that you are a man who does not betray his own command. Every time you break your word to yourself, you teach your mind that your commands can be ignored. Every time you keep it, you teach your mind that your commands must be obeyed. Over time, this becomes identity, and the man whose identity is built on discipline can trust himself in every storm. Discipline is not a chain that binds you. It is the sword that frees you. It cuts away the trivial, the wasteful, the weak. It ensures that you do not drift, and it tells the universe that you are prepared to handle what you ask for because you can handle yourself. Accurate thinking is your shield. Without it, you will waste years chasing illusions. Accurate thinking demands that you strip away opinion, assumption, and emotion until only fact remains. It forces you to ask, do I know this is true? How do I know? What proof do I have? In these 21 days, you will not accept information at face value, not from the news, not from friends, not even from your own mind. You will weigh it. You will demand evidence. You will check the source, and you will form conclusions only after the facts are in order. Why? Because error in thought leads to error in action, and the man who acts on falsehood is defeated before he begins. The man who acts on truth, even if slow, will always overtake the one running in the wrong direction. Personal initiative is the spark that ignites all others. It is the decision to act before someone tells you to, Before conditions are perfect, before the crowd approves, the man of initiative sets events in motion. The man without it waits for life to happen to him. In these 21 days, you will not wait for permission. If you see a step that serves your purpose, you will take it. If you see a door, you will knock. If you see an opening, you will move through it before it closes. You will train yourself to act in the absence of certainty, because certainty is the reward of those who begin, not the gift to those who hesitate. When you combine these 5 definiteness of purpose, mastery over emotion, self-discipline, accurate thinking, personal initiative, the universe recognizes you. It sees in you the rare figure who is prepared to receive, to build, to hold, and it begins to align itself with your movement. Opportunities come not because they were absent before, but because you are now sharp enough to see them, bold enough to take them, and disciplined enough to keep them. The crowd will call it luck. You will know it is law. And by the 21st day, you will not only have results, you will have proof in your own life that the mind is the cause and reality is the effect. You will have experienced the shift from drift to direction, from reaction to response, from waiting to initiating. You will have become the one who commands himself, and in commanding yourself, commands the very terms of your life. By the time you complete these 21 days, you will no longer recognize the man who began them. That man carried within him hesitation, inconsistency, and the subtle disease of waiting for life to grant him permission. He measured his chances by the mood of the day, by the approval of the crowd, by the shifting weather of his own emotions. That man will be gone. In his place will stand one who knows that fortune is not a wind to be caught, but a force to be generated. You will have proved to yourself that when you take command of your inner world, the outer world bends accordingly. You will have tasted the reality that self-mastery is not merely a virtue, it is the only foundation upon which lasting wealth, influence, and peace can stand. The crowd will still be there. They will still be waiting for the right moment, still chasing the latest distraction, still allowing the smallest inconvenience to knock them off course. They will still confuse motion with progress, opinion with truth, emotion with decision. And they will look at you, and they will not understand how you seem untouched by the storms that throw them into chaos. They will call you lucky, they will call you gifted, they will call you the beneficiary of circumstances. They will never admit that the difference was built in 21 days, that while they gave their attention away for free, you guarded yours like gold, that while they reacted, you responded, that while they drifted, you advanced, that while they waited for the path to be clear, you carved the path yourself. You will not waste your time correcting them. You will not pause to explain. You will simply keep moving, because your aim is no longer to convince, your aim is to create. And you will create, because you have built the machinery that makes creation inevitable, the clear aim, the disciplined habit, the unshakable mind, the accurate vision, the decisive step. These are not tools you will put down when the challenge ends. They will be fused into you, as much a part of you as your hands or your voice. For the rest of your life, you will carry this knowledge, that no matter the season, the market, the climate, or the opposition, you have within you the one force that shapes all others' self-command, and that with it, you will never be at the mercy of chance again. The 21 days will end, but the law you have forged will not. It will govern your mornings before the world wakes. It will govern your choices when temptation whispers. It will govern your pace when others rush or stall. And it will govern your results, which will multiply as surely as night follows day. So begin now. Burn into your mind this one truth. If I command myself, I command my destiny. Let it echo in your thoughts as you wake. Let it dictate your movements throughout the day. Let it be the last thought you hold before sleep. Do this without fail for 21 days, and the universe will respond, not with applause, but with obedience. And from that moment forward, you will never again wonder who holds the power over your life. You will know. The first lesson you must grasp is this: the mind you begin with is not the mind you must keep. The ordinary man believes that because he was born with certain habits, certain ways of reacting, certain ingrained weaknesses, these things are permanent. He says, "That's just how I am," as if his own mind were a prison sentence handed down by fate. But the man who seeks mastery knows that the mind is clay, and the world is shaped by those who shape their own clay before touching the clay of anything else. Your 21 days are not a training of willpower alone, they are a reshaping of identity. Every time you act in alignment with the laws we have laid down, definiteness of purpose, mastery over emotion, self-discipline, accurate thinking, personal initiative, you are no longer simply doing something different. You are becoming someone different. You are voting for a new self with every choice. This is why each day must be treated as sacred. Each choice is a brick in the fortress of your new identity. You cannot leave gaps. You cannot allow weak mortar. The enemy will test the walls not once, but continually, and the smallest crack will invite infiltration. The man of drift does not understand this. He imagines that discipline is something he can pick up and put down as needed. He does not see that the habits of mind are either strengthening or weakening every hour. He does not see that every act of indulgence makes indulgence easier next time, and every act of command makes command easier next time. By the 21st day, the balance will tip. At first, commanding yourself feels unnatural, even forced. You must consciously resist the pull of impulse. You must deliberately reject the easy reaction. You must manually direct your thought away from distraction and toward your purpose. But as the days accumulate, the unnatural becomes natural, the deliberate becomes automatic, and the struggle becomes momentum. And then something extraordinary happens. Your inner state begins to radiate outward. The universe is not responding to your words, your wishes, or even your surface actions. It is responding to the quality of your vibration, the steadiness of your internal command. People sense it without knowing why. Circumstances seem to bend to it without explanation. What once felt like fighting the current now feels like walking with the wind at your back. This is not mysticism. This is law. A man who governs himself consistently moves with clarity, and clarity is magnetic in a world drowning in confusion. A man who responds instead of reacts holds an advantage over all who are still slaves to their moods. A man whose every act aligns with his definite purpose wastes no energy, while others dissipate theirs in meaningless motion. The result is inevitable. Such a man rises. But you must not stop at the rise. Mastery is not a one-time achievement. It is a state to be renewed daily. There is no point at which you may say, I have conquered myself, now I can relax. The moment you neglect the practice, the old self begins its return. It waits for inattention. It feeds on comfort. And it will undo in weeks what took you years to build, if you allow it. Therefore, the 21 days are not the destination. They are the proof that the destination exists. They are the first campaign in a war that will last as long as you draw breath. If this sounds severe, it is because reality is severe. The mind does not remain idle. It grows stronger or weaker each day depending on the hand that rules it. Understand also that the reward is not in the applause of others, nor in the outer symbols of success that may come. Those are byproducts. The true reward is this: to wake each day knowing you will not betray yourself, to move through the world untouched by its chaos, to hold in your own hands the reins of your destiny. And there is more, much more that the crowd cannot imagine, the peace that comes from mastery. The man of drift lives in constant tension because he is ruled by forces he does not control. His moods dictate his performance, his fears dictate his decisions, his desires dictate his sacrifices. He is pulled in every direction, always at the mercy of something. But the man of mastery lives in stillness. He decides what enters his mind, he decides what leaves his mouth, he decides what moves his hands, and in that stillness, he is free. The subconscious mind is the silent engineer of your destiny. It never sleeps, it never stops recording. Every thought you allow, every word you speak, every emotion you indulge is a blueprint handed to this engineer. And it builds accordingly, without judgment, without hesitation, without asking whether you truly meant what you said or thought. This is why the weak live in cycles they cannot escape. They feed their subconscious with images of failure, sounds of doubt, emotions of fear, and then wonder why the same patterns appear in their lives again and again. The mind obeys the instruction it is given, and the subconscious cannot tell the difference between deliberate instruction and careless indulgence. The man who has mastered himself does not leave this process to chance. For 21 days, you will become the deliberate architect of what your subconscious receives. You will not speak defeat. You will not think hesitation. You will not dwell on images of failure. You will feed the mind only what serves your purpose, in word, in thought, in emotion, until the subconscious has no choice but to accept the new order as reality. At first, the old patterns will resist. The subconscious has been trained by years of careless governance, and it will pull toward the familiar. You will find old doubts whispering, old fears rising, old habits seeking to reclaim their place. This is not proof of failure. It is proof that the old order is being challenged. And every time you replace that old impulse with the new command, the subconscious rewires itself. This is why definiteness of purpose must come first. The subconscious needs a clear target. Vague desire produces vague results. Specific purpose produces specific results. State your purpose as a fact, as if it were already so, and let no contrary thought take root. This is why mastery over emotion is essential. Every emotion carries an instruction to the subconscious. Panic tells it the world is dangerous and unstable. Anger tells it to prepare for conflict. Joy tells it you are moving toward what you want. But the master does not let emotion instruct at random. He chooses which emotions to dwell in, knowing each one is a seed. This is why self-discipline is the enforcer. Without it, the new instructions will be scattered by inconsistency. The subconscious needs repetition, steady, unbroken signals. The man who acts with discipline tells his mind, "This is the standard," and the mind adjusts to meet it. This is why accurate thinking protects you. The subconscious believes what you believe. If you build on falsehoods, it will create a false structure. Only by feeding it truth verified, tested, proven can you ensure that what it builds will stand when reality presses against it. This is why personal initiative accelerates the process. The subconscious learns most from decisive action. Each time you act without waiting for permission, you show the mind that you are in command, and it begins to act in anticipation of your orders. The man who governs his subconscious governs his future. And the 21-day discipline is how you take that throne. You are not merely avoiding distraction. You are programming a system that will work for you in silence long after the conscious effort becomes habit. Understand this. The man who completes these 21 days as prescribed is not simply improved, he is remade. For he will have done something almost no one in this age of noise and indulgence has done. He will have proved that he can rule himself without compromise. The crowd believes control means forcing others to obey. They never realize that the highest, rarest, and most profitable form of power is the ability to issue an order to oneself and see it obeyed without question. The man who can do this has eliminated the greatest source of weakness in existence, his own inconsistency. By the end of the 21st day, your mind will carry a new rhythm. You will no longer require the same conscious effort to hold your purpose in place. It will be there when you wake. It will be there when you choose your words. It will be there when others attempt to provoke you, and you will feel the difference, the pause, the stillness, the measured response that comes from a ruler, not a servant. From that day forward, the rest of the world will operate on your terms more than you on theirs. Not because you will control every event, you will not, but because you will control your interpretation, your decision, your movement. And in that space where most men crumble, you will stand calm, seeing the field clearly, taking the steps others are too shaken to take. The wealth you build from here, whether in influence, in relationships, in enterprise, or in spirit, will be steady because you are steady. The storms that sink lesser men will simply pass you by, for they cannot touch what they cannot move. And so, I tell you, treat these 21 days as the line in the sand. On one side lies the old self, reactive, hesitant, ruled by moods, drifting without anchor. On the other side stands the architect, the commander, the man who can be trusted with his own destiny. Once you cross, do not go back. On the morning of the 22nd day, you will not celebrate as the crowd celebrates. You will not declare yourself finished. You will simply rise and continue because you will know the truth. Mastery has no end, only higher levels. And you will hunger for them, not because you are dissatisfied, but because you have tasted what it means to be in command. Do this for 21 days, and the universe will not merely respond, it will yield. The world will tell you that greatness is a matter of opportunity, of fortune, of favorable winds. The truth reserved for the few who will bear it is that greatness begins the moment you take total, unshakable command of your own mind. Not in part, not when it is convenient, but absolutely, without surrender, without exception. And there is no better crucible in which to forge this command than the 21 days that lie before you. These are not 21 days of casual improvement. They are 21 days of severance, of cutting away the weaker self you have carried too long. They are 21 days of proof, not to the world, but to yourself, that your word is law, your mind is master, and your emotions are your servants, never your rulers. You will begin with definiteness of purpose, for without it, you are as a ship without a helm, blown in every direction by the winds of circumstance. Most men live in this drift, pretending to steer, while the current carries them wherever it pleases. For 21 days you will not be as they are. You will write your aim with precision. You will state it aloud each morning before the noise of the world can reach you. You will weigh every decision against it, and anything that does not move you toward it will be cut without regret. This is not harshness, it is clarity. The man who knows where he is going wastes nothing, fears nothing, and depends on no one to decide for him. Then comes mastery over emotion. Understand that your feelings are not enemies, but they are unfit to lead. Anger, fear, excitement, desire, each is a powerful horse, but left unchecked, they will throw you and drag you through the dirt. In these 21 days, you will not be ruled by the first impulse. You will pause between stimulus and response. You will test each emotion against your purpose. If it serves you, you will harness it. If it weakens you, you will transmute it into fuel for the will. This is not suppression. It is transformation. The third pillar is self-discipline, the enforcer of your will. Each time you set a task and keep it, you forge a link in the chain of trust between you and yourself. Each time you break your own word, you weaken that chain. For 21 days, your word will be law, especially to yourself. The man who cannot keep a promise to himself is not fit to command anything else. The fourth is accurate, thinking the shield against self-deception. The world will offer you opinions dressed as facts, rumors dressed as truth, and your own mind will supply fears dressed as certainty. For 21 days, you will strip away all that is unproven, all that is assumption, all that is the shadow of truth rather than truth itself. You will act only on what is real, because the man who builds on falsehood builds to collapse. The fifth is personal initiative, the fire that moves you before the order is given, before the conditions are perfect, before you feel ready. The man of drift waits for the tide to carry him. The man of initiative sets his sail and moves, knowing that momentum breeds opportunity. For 21 days, you will not wait for permission. You will take the step the moment you see it. These 5 laws, lived without compromise for 21 days, will do more than change your habits. They will rewrite the programming of your subconscious mind. The subconscious is the silent engineer of your destiny. It obeys the orders it is given, whether deliberate or careless. Most men feed it fear, hesitation, and distraction, then curse fate when those things return to them multiplied. You will not be as they are. You will feed it only the instructions that align with your purpose, your discipline, your truth. At first, the old patterns will resist. They will whisper for you to return to the familiar. But each time you replace the old impulse with the new command, you carve a deeper channel in the mind until the new way becomes the only way. And once the subconscious accepts the new order, it works in silence, turning your thought into action, your action into habit, your habit into destiny. By the 21st day, you will not merely act differently, you will be different. You will rise with purpose already alive in you. You will feel the stillness between emotion and action. You will move with the certainty of one who trusts his own hand on the wheel. And the world will notice, not with applause, but with deference. Doors will open, not because they were not there before, but because you will now have the presence to walk through them. The crowd will not understand. They will call it luck. They will call it timing. They will not see the silent labor that remade you, because the world is blind to the invisible victories of the mind. Let them remain blind. Your aim is not their approval. It is your sovereignty. When the 21 days end, you will not declare yourself finished. You will not seek rest. You will simply continue because you will have learned the truth that mastery has no end, only higher levels. And you will hunger for them. And so the clock will count down not to the end, but to the proving ground where you discover who you truly are. Each day will be another hammer strike against the weak alloy of your former self, until at last only the tempered steel remains. And as the 21st dawn approaches, you will sense it a current in your mind unlike anything you have known before. It will not be excitement, for excitement is unstable. It will not be pride, for pride looks backward. It will be a still, unshakable knowing. I can command myself, and therefore I can command anything. You will walk into your day as a general walks into his own camp, not needing to prove his authority, for it is already established. The mind will obey without question. Emotion will take its place as servant, not ruler. Doubt will wither at the gate, for it no longer recognizes a home within you. Others will notice. They will not be able to name it, but they will feel it. In a handshake, in a glance, in the way you speak a word and then carry it out without delay, they will sense the presence of a man who does not falter. And in a world addicted to hesitation, this will make you unforgettable. Some will be drawn to you for guidance. Others will resent you for exposing their own lack of command. This is inevitable, for when a man rises from within, he casts a light that reveals both the path and the shadows along it. Do not dim this light for their comfort. You did not fight this battle to return to the ranks of the uncertain. Instead, push further, for when the 21st day arrives, and you cross it without compromise, you will see the truth clearly that this was never about a number of days, but about the man those days have created. And you will hunger to see how far you can take him. From here, you will enter each new cycle, not as a struggler, but as a builder. Your days will no longer be consumed with trying to stay disciplined. You will be disciplined. Your decisions will no longer waver between the easy and the right. You will choose the right before the easy even finishes its plea. Your vision will no longer be clouded by moods, because you will have learned the ancient and rare skill of keeping the mind steady no matter what the world brings. And with that steadiness comes a power the drifting masses will never understand, the power to decide once and let that decision rule every action thereafter. This is the essence of command. This is the difference between the man who lives at the mercy of his days and the man whose days live at the mercy of him. When you reach this point, wealth will come in coin, in influence, in peace of mind, not because you chased it, but because you became the kind of man to whom it must flow. For wealth in every form is drawn to order, and you will be the embodiment of it. But do not mistake this for the end. The old self will wait for moments of inattention, eager to reclaim what was lost. You must never grant it that opening. Rise each morning with the same commitment as on day one. Look at yourself in the mirror as a commander inspects his army. Demand readiness. Demand alignment with purpose. Demand obedience to the standard you have set. For if you keep the line unbroken, you will find that 21 days was simply the beginning of a new life, one in which you no longer hope for strength, but live from it. One in which you no longer wish for control, but exercise it as naturally as breathing. One in which the world responds not to the noise you make, but to the force you have become. And when the world asks, "How did you do it?" you will not speak of tricks or secrets. You will not give them platitudes. You will simply say, "I gave myself an order, and I obeyed it." That is the whole of mastery. That is the root of greatness. And that is why when you step into the 22nd day and every day thereafter, you will not look back. For you will know, not think, not hope, not wish, but know that a man who commands himself commands his destiny.